Have another spoonful of eggnog while I'm at it.
You mean custard?
Yeah, sorry, it's custard. Or blancmange if you really want.
Blancmange.
Blancmange is just egg jelly, from what I understand.
Okay. Didn't know that was a thing. Isn't that just pudding?
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah, pudding is not a specific thing in the UK.
Yeah.
Well, I thought you could use it for both.
Pudding is just a general thing in England. It just means like a general thing. It's not.
I don't know what the difference between American pudding and English blancmange is, though.
Is blancmange English?
I don't even know if blancmange is English. I think it might be French. Right.
That sounds French.
So I'm going to quickly put my lights on so you can see me a bit better.
France.
And then I'll be right back.
The only time I've heard someone use blancmange, it was someone talking about injecting blancmange with, what was it again, like fire flower juice?
This is the first time I've heard of blancmange, to be honest.
Yeah, it's just it was a video I saw where in the same video someone locked his psychiatrist in the rocket and sent him to space, because why not?
That sounds like a fun video.
What sounds like a fun video? I missed that bit.
Science of power-ups.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that could be interesting.
It's a fun video.
It has blancmange in it, I guess.
One of them does indeed have blancmange in it.
Everything has blancmange in it now. This blancmange has gone everywhere.
Well, that's a euphemism.
I'm going to replace Terence with the blancmange.
How do you spell blancmange?
I don't know, I think it's blancmange. But that doesn't even help. So
anyway, we have the dumbest.
I know we're goofing off. I'm going to quickly load in your decks. This one is for red person. This one is for blue person.
Miam Deku, yes.
And we're going to take everything real slow. So if you would put your decks in the deck location, then take your characters off and put them in the character location.
It's not letting me take the character. There we go. It was acting funny for some reason.
And then shuffle up your deck.
Okay, not that slow.
Oh, okay, that was the joke. Right, I did wonder. Okay, wait, I'm going to have to move this up so I can actually see it, because it turns out my tabletop simulator is slightly off screen for some reason. It always opens that way. Right, here we go. So we have two characters. We have Katsuki Bakugo, just known as Bakugo or sometimes Kachan. And then we have Izuku Midoriya, more commonly known as Deku.
Bakugo is also known as King Explosion Murder.
That's not incorrect.
I thought there was a death in there somewhere. King Explosion Murder Death or something.
Probably.
Anyway, first of all, you can ignore the numbers on most of the numbers on these characters for now. They're not relevant as is. These characters, though, define what abilities and hand size and vitality, which is your health, you have throughout the game. For both characters, they start with 6 hand size and 28 vitality. That's just what these two start with. Different characters may be different, but we'll talk about that in the future. So if you could both set your health to 28, please.
Will do. 28. There we go.
There we go indeed. Right. So Deku's abilities, first of all, he only gets to use each ability once per turn. He has a little static that says that at the top of his card. Then he has 2 enhances, which are playable during attacks. We'll get to what that means a little later. One of these is defensive. If you can guess what zone your opponent's next attack is going to be, you can reduce its damage. And the other one is offensive. If you discard your hand, you get plus damage. We'll talk about the specifics later on, but for now, basically, his game plan is he wants to play big attacks. Well, he wants to make his attacks big, and also he wants to stop his opponent's attacks. So there's a little bit of mind games in there with the zone choices, and with knowing when to go all in. Then we've got Bakugo, who has a response. When his attacks are blocked, he can get rid of them, so they're not clogging up his play area. You'll find out why that's a good thing in a little bit. And then also he's got Enhance, which lets him blow up a foundation, one of his resources, for plus damage. He doesn't get as much plus damage as Deku does, but also he can do it multiple times in a turn. He can do both of his abilities multiple times in a turn. Now, I mentioned he has a response. A response, unlike Enhance, doesn't have a set timing. It's just played whenever the ability says it's played. So, after his blocked Fury attack resolves. Fury is just a type of attack. It doesn't have any specific keyword abilities attached or anything. Anyway, that is that explained. If you'll both shuffle up again and draw 6 cards. And then I will slowly inspect your hands, good sirs. So you'll see there are 2 card types in this deck, separate from the characters. There are a total of 4 in the game in general. 5 if you count the character cards, but we will only be dealing with 2 today. We've got these grey ones are foundations. They're your resources, they help you play cards, and they give you nice little abilities. These red ones, or orange ones, are attacks. They're how you deal damage to your opponent, how you end up winning the game. And so, ideally you want to get a lot of grey ones in the beginning to help you play your later stuff, and then you want to play out a lot of difficult attacks on turn 2 or 3. So, are you both happy with your hands?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, in which case we won't show you how the mulligan system works this game.
Tragic.
No.
So, shall we roll to see who starts?
Yeah, go for it.
Sure.
There we go, I can zoom in.
5.
Okay, we'll just roll 1 dice, fair enough.
Yeah, might as well. Sorry there.
Less than 5. So
Yeah.
it appears that
So it
Deku
is.
is starting.
Okay.
Now, Deku,
Go for it,
because he's
Deku.
starting, commits his character, if you will.
There we go.
Yeah. So commit is this game's term for what is essentially tap. Turn sideways. So let's show that it's not in use.
And
So
begin
that's
my
that.
turn.
And then, begin your turn, play a card.
So first I'll play Passing the Torch.
Right. So before you do anything
Good one.
more,
Yep.
the 2 important values on passing the torch are that 2 in the top left corner and that 5 in the bottom right corner. The 2 is how difficult to play it is. The 5 is... Well, the 5 on this card doesn't actually matter, but Linosec here is about to flip over a card, and this one has a 6. So because that 6 is equal to or greater than that 2, this card succeeds. Everything is fine. He's played it successfully. It'll go down end of turn. So Linosec can now play another card, but the next card he plays will have its difficulty increased by 1 because there is a card before it.
Another Passing the
So
Torch.
in this case, it says 2, but it needs a 3. And it gets a 5, so it succeeds.
And then Bonds of Friendship.
This one says
Indeed.
1, but it's got 2 cards before it, so it needs a total of 3 again.
And that succeeds.
So everything Linosec has played has been successful. You play anything more? Well, Linosec
Okay.
doesn't have any more foundations in hand right now, so
So I will.
Spoilers.
probably doesn't want to play anything more. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I'm
know
going to end
that's
my turn
spoilers, but
Yeah, I will end my turn there.
I'm just trying to explain that for the people who are watching.
Fair enough, fair enough.
Okay,
Alright, shall I do my turn then?
so if you could not overlap your cards, please, Linosec, just because it
Okay.
can cause them to clump a bit when you
Yeah,
commit them.
true.
It's kind of awkward in Tabletop Simulator.
Yeah.
So it is now your turn, Muse.
All
So if you will, you got your 6 cards. At the start of your turn, if it's not your first turn going first, you may discard a card. Do you wish to do that?
Good question. I hadn't thought about that. You know what? Actually, I will do that. Yeah.
Okay.
I will discard double Barrage Ultra. Yeah, that doesn't matter.
And then draws up to hand size for turn. So he has 5, but he's going to draw until he has 6.
There we go.
Which right now is just 1. Right. So, what would you like to play?
I will play Aggressive Temper. I need a 2. What will I get? This is a 5. Succeeds. So let's go to the next one. Let's play another Aggressive Temper.
Okay, so
this
one
time
has a
needing
card
a 3.
before it, so it needs a 3.
Gets a 3 exactly.
Yep.
Fortunate.
So, little bit of a spoiler. Neither of these decks have anything below a 3 in the bottom right corner. So that bottom right corner value, known as the control, will never be less than a 3 in these decks. A 3 difficulty will always succeed.
It's not always the case, though.
There are decks that will play lower values, but generally the cards will be strong enough to make up for that extra risk they provide.
Yeah, it ranges from 1 to 6, so it's kind of like a dice throw, but the probabilities depend on how you're building your deck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's sort of random, but it's controlled random, if that makes sense.
Exactly, like the Mario Party on the Switch, I guess.
Oh god, that game. I hated that.
It's not a good game. In my opinion, yeah. Sorry,
someone sounds like they're having a bit of a flashback there.
Yeah, I was made to play it with university friends.
That must have been an enjoyable experience.
It went on for hours.
Oh yeah, that's what happened.
Anyway.
Alright, so I checked the 3.
Yep, so that one succeeds as well.
Exactly.
That's it.
Do you wish to play anything more?
No.
Right.
Or should I? No, I won't.
Cutest Link here, Muse, has 1 additional foundation in hand, but it is a 2 difficulty. If they were to play it now, it would need a 5, because there was 3 foundations before it. That would mean that roughly half their deck would cause it to fail if it got flipped over. So it's a risky play.
Okay.
So it's in their best interests, perhaps, to hold on to that card till later. Or there might be other reasons why they're doing that, but if so, we'll get to those when they come up.
Yep.
Right, so turn past.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, I'll have to uncommit my character first.
Yeah, you ready your character?
And then draw hand size.
Yep.
Okay.
So Linus just drew a full 3 cards there.
Okay, I'll start with Delaware Smash.
Okay, so Linus X playing an attack.
Ooh.
Yeah,
you'll see attacks have a couple of additional numbers in the middle on the right-hand side. Oh, and also, this one needed a 4 to play. It's just got a 3. So that would fail, but Linus X has the option to commit foundations equal to the difference to make it still succeed. So Bonds of Friendship is being committed, and so the 3 becomes a 4 essentially, and Delaware Smash succeeds. So the next thing is you will see that we've got those 2 values on the right hand side. The top one is the speed and zone, so that's a 4, and you'll see the orange arrow is in the middle, so it's a mid attack, which is relevant when it comes to blocking it. Likewise, the 4 is basically the difficulty to block it. There's a little bit more going on there, but that is that. And then the damage you'll see is a 6. So if this deals damage, it will deal 6 damage, unless somebody does something to change that. It also has a text box here with the words Flash and Punch. Punch is just a trait, it does nothing, but Flash you'll see is blue to show that it has relevant rules text. In this case, it's skip the enhanced step of the attack, which means basically during this attack, nobody can play their enhanced abilities like they would normally be able to. So we just skip all that and we go straight to the blocks. Do you wish to attempt to block this, Muse?
I do wish to attempt to block this.
So
Not
Muse has 1 mid block in hand. The block is that shield you see in the top right. And it's got a 3+, which means the total difficulty to block is 4 plus that 3 plus any additional cards before this block, which there aren't any of. So that's 4 plus 3 plus 0 is 7. So we talked about how cards range from 1 to 6. There are only 3 to 6 in these decks. But regardless, it is impossible for Muse to check a 7. Muse will have to commit something to make this succeed. Now let's see what Muse turns over.
Alright, let's go. It's a 5.
Muse gets lucky with a 5 and only has to commit 2 things.
Yes. I'll commit Aggressive Temper, and you can also commit your character actually to do it. Now,
yes, you can also commit your character.
Yeah, since I don't have any defensive effects on my character, I will commit him as well.
That's a good
Whenever
call.
a cost or a check requires you to commit something, commit a foundation, sorry, you can commit your character as though it was a foundation. Whenever an ability requires you to commit a foundation, however, you cannot. That will be relevant in a later game today.
So that attack has been blocked now.
Yep,
Yes.
and because it's a mid block and a mid attack, that is fully blocked.
And no extra
damage is
goes
dealt.
through.
So
now, move on to the next attack.
Yep, now Linusek may attempt to play another card.
I'll play Midoriya Strike, needing a 4+1. So
Yep.
that's a 5.
Needing a total of 5.
That
Gets
is
a
a
3.
3. Oh.
So you will have to commit 2 things.
Ooh.
Oh, that's definitely annoying.
That is, yeah.
I'll commit both copies of Passing the Torch. So that's definitely throwing a wrench in my plans there. So now I'll activate my Enhance to commit 1 foundation for each punch in my card pool.
So yeah, your opponent commits 1 foundation for each punch.
Yeah.
Both of these attacks are punches, so Muse is required to commit 2 foundations. But only Muse does have 2 ready foundations, right?
Yeah.
Commit both of them.
I regret committing my character now.
Yes, because your character could not be committed for this ability because you're not paying a cost and you're not committing to pass a check.
I didn't know Deku had this effect. Like I was sure he didn't have something like this.
Yeah, I'd forgotten that this matchup had that effect as well, to be honest. It's the least interesting Deku attack, so I forget that Midoriya Strike exists, but sometimes it's quite relevant, as you've seen.
Yeah.
Because that's going to make it a lot harder for Muse to block anything now that he doesn't have anything ready. Let's take a quick look at Muse's hand. Right. So
Do you
this
have an
time,
Enhance to activate?
well, you, Linusek, get first chance at enhances because you were the turn player.
Yeah, I just activated the Enhance to commit.
Oh yeah, you did, sorry. You used the enhance, your opponent commits 1 foundation for each punch attacking your card pool. So now it's Muse's turn to play an enhance.
Yes, with this deck I can't play an enhance right now. Because everything is committed.
Yeah, and unless they state otherwise, committed cards can't have their abilities played.
Yeah, and that's not the
Arrogant
case in this deck.
Disposition actually requires you to commit it for its enhance ability. So he would be able to reduce the speed of this attack by 3 to make it a lot easier to block if Arrogant Disposition was ready. But because it's not, he can't.
Okay, so my next Enhance, I will use Deku's second ability. I will discard my hands to give this plus 10 damage.
Okay, so Deku has just... Linusek has just thrown away his entire hand, which means he will have no ability to block next turn. But he has also gained 10 damage, and he does have a defensive ability on his character.
It's a very Deku thing to do, to be honest.
Yeah, it is.
This is a 14 damage attack now. We're using these red dice to show additional damage. And it has a printed damage of 4.
So
It also has a
I
printed
have-
speed of 4 in the high zone. So Muse would need a high block to be able to block it. Muse does have a high block, which I wouldn't tell normally, but because it's a demo game, it's worth showing. Musa has a +2 high block, but unfortunately between the 4 there and the 1 card before it, the explosive charge, that would bring the difficulty of the block to a total of 7, which isn't possible to check, and Muse has nothing ready to commit to make it succeed.
Exactly.
So there's no more enhances to play. I will send that attack.
And I will take it. Go down to 14.
So that's 14 damage turn 2.
Just half my vitality in one turn.
Yeah.
Now,
Welcome to
Linosec is
UniVersus.
required to pass as his next action
Yeah.
because Linosec has no cards left in hand to play, and no abilities that can be played as a form.
And now we go to explaining momentum.
So yeah, we go to the end phase. Sorry, the cleanup phase, I think it's actually called. During which cards discard from the card pool, turn player first, right to left. So this one here, and then all the way down to here, this one clears first. But Linosec has the option, because it dealt damage, to put it in this zone known as the momentum. It goes to the momentum face down. Oh, there we go.
Ignore that.
And that just acts as a resource to pay costs later on, basically.
Yes, and effects that require momentum usually are pretty strong.
Yeah. Because they're gauged behind you having already dealt damage with an attack, basically. Delaware Smash, Linosec doesn't have that option to add to momentum.
Didn't deal damage, so it goes to my
instead
discard.
it goes to his discard pile like an attack normally would. Or any non-foundation card, really. Foundations go down
Well,
here
apart
instead.
from...
Yeah, okay,
assets,
apart from
I guess,
assets, but we're not talking about assets right now. They're an
We
advanced
don't talk
gameplay
about
mechanic.
that. Yeah.
Now,
Fair enough.
non-turn players' card pool clears. Get rid of that explosion charge, please. It was a
Bye-bye,
successful
explosion charge.
block, but it didn't deal damage. And yeah, you've seen an attack played as a block, but any card can be played as a block as long as it has that shield symbol. And they do have... different ones will have different zones. And we'll talk about what happens when you partially block in a moment, probably. If you already your stuff, Muse, and then you can choose whether or not to discard. Oh,
Yeah, I will not discard anything.
okay. And then
So I
you
will
can draw
draw.
up to your hand size, which will mean you'll draw 4 cards to take you to 6.
And now all the damage is going to be thrown at my face.
I mean, maybe. It depends how much damage there is in Muse's hand.
It's Bakugo. There will probably be a lot.
Yeah, that's fair.
Depending how willing Olene's willing to go, though.
So, according to some of the pros of this game, Bakugo is the better of these two decks. But in our experience, we find that Deku tends to win. So maybe we're just better as Deku, we're not sure.
Yeah. Or maybe we just suck as Bakugo, so...
Yeah.
Either or.
But Deku has definitely put himself in a very vulnerable position right here.
Oh, I'm definitely bad at playing Bakugo, to be honest. Even though he's kind of my main.
I thought Mega Man was your main.
Yeah, my main's pure degeneracy.
Yeah, his main is also pure degeneracy. We built a very degenerate Mega Man deck together, and we'll show you that at some future date.
Yeah, some future proofs.
Yeah, I just play the game by not playing the game.
This checks a 5 and
So
succeeds.
this checked a 5, so this 5 difficulty attack has just straight up succeeded and nothing has to be committed for it.
Okay.
Yes, and I'm happy about that.
Which is pretty nice. So, Bakugo here gets first chance to respond. No, sorry, first chance to enhance.
Yes. I will enhance by destroying aggressive temper to give myself +2 damage.
So that is the bottom enhance on his character. He destroys a foundation for +2 damage. And then this foundation has the response printed on it. Specifically, after it enters the discard pile during the attack's enhance step, it can be used. And it gives the attack an additional +2 damage, which is why this dice is now at 4.
Mm-hmm.
Now, because this is a responsibility and not just a static effect, you can forget about it, and if you do, it won't trigger.
Now then.
Theoretically, Deku gets a chance to respond to the same action, but Deku doesn't have any responses to that, so that's irrelevant. But Deku does now get an enhance.
I will use my first character enhance, so I will say if the next attack is a mid-attack, it will get -10 damage.
Okay. So that's once per turn. If he guesses the zone right, Deku can completely wreck the offense of Bakugo. And what zone did you say?
Mid.
Okay. So Bakugo only has 1 card in hand right now, so Bakugo wouldn't be able to play around that either. But that depends whether the zone is right for that to trigger. And everyone at home should be able to see what that zone is right now, because I've got the card up.
I chose mid because speed here is irrelevant because I don't have any blocks to play anyway. And the enhance if the enhance said if the attack was high, it would get speed, so there was no point picking that.
Ah, I see what you mean. So you're basing this on the attack's enhances. On the attack's enhance ability.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, that is a good idea, but...
Do you wish to use that attack enhance ability, Muse?
No, actually not.
I mean, I guess, yeah, it is irrelevant at this point because you're not going to have damage on mid because if you play a mid, it's going to lose 10 damage and that +3 is going to make next to no difference.
I guess so. Also,
but at the same time...
Also, yeah, I don't actually have a mid attack in my hand, so...
Well, that's unfortunate.
Well, I wasn't going to tell him that.
Well,
it's too late now anyway.
But yeah, the speed is irrelevant.
To find out.
So yeah, there is no reason to play this enhance other than potentially to try and psych out the Deku player. But also there's no reason not to because it has no cost.
I think I'm doing more psyching out if I tell him I don't have a mid attack in my hand.
There is literally no response. I can do literally nothing about that.
Okay.
I'll send it.
So
5 speed mid for 10 damage.
Okay.
I will take 10 damage.
So when you say you will send it, what you actually mean is that you will pass enhance, and then you know that Deku isn't going to use any enhances.
Yeah, that's shorthand.
When you both pass in turn, it causes the attack to go to the block step, to be sent, as it were. I'm just clarifying how this works for the people who are watching.
Yeah, that's what the stream is for.
I'm assuming the people are watching. I haven't actually checked chat.
Fingers crossed.
Oh, there's nobody in chat. I don't know if people are watching or not, but nobody said
there are a few lurkers according to the thingy thing.
Thanks.
Ah, that's nice.
Cool. Right, so...
We're teaching.
This attack is being sent, and it's done... Oh, it's done a whopping 10 damage, okay.
Yes, it has.
So that's not that much worse than Deku's attack.
And
you didn't pay your entire hand for it.
Exactly. So that's probably what Bakugo's better.
I made a large mistake.
But then again, you did sacrifice a foundation for it.
Indeed, yeah.
Which in the long term puts you at a disadvantage.
True, but
whereas
I don't think Bakugo does a lot of long-term thinking.
So it makes a short-term loss, and it's a long-term loss.
Play Explosive Brace on a 5.
Ooh, that's painful. That's bad.
Yeah.
That is definitely bad.
Gets a 6. Succeeds. I've got lucky.
Wait, what? You just checked a 6, okay.
Oh dear, I'm pretty sure I just died this turn now.
Well, this attack's currently only at 4 damage, so it's not looking that bad for you. But I do know what's coming up.
Yeah,
and it's going to get a whole lot worse.
Yeah.
For my first enhance, I will use the one on the attack, discard 2 cards, draw 2 cards.
Oh,
Okay.
wait a minute.
Now the 2 cards I'm discarding,
Yeah,
if you
2
read
cards
them...
that are being discarded are this
Yeah.
card called Loser! Which has to be pronounced like that because it has exclamation marks in its name.
Oh, dear.
This has a Bakugo response, which means it's a response that you can only play if you're playing Bakugo. After this card enters your discard pile during your attack's enhanced step, your opponent loses 2 vitality, their health.
Oh, that's really
This effect
bad.
cannot reduce your opponent below 1 vitality. So,
So,
Bakugo does still need to kill with an attack, but because he's done this, if he responds twice, which there's no reason for him not to, other than forgetfulness, Deku loses 4 health. And that's kind of a big deal.
yeah.
And then, having paid the cost, unless Deku has some way of cancelling this ability, which I know full well he doesn't, because these decks don't have that kind of ability,
And I have no resources
the
whatsoever.
effect will now happen, and Bakugo will draw 2 cards.
Yeah. Well, you see,
Which is
costs in UniVersus.
That is the bad part.
Ooh. Interesting.
Very.
I don't like the sound of that.
So yeah, discarding cards and then drawing more cards is a really nice way to give yourself more attacks when you have a low attack hand.
Exactly.
So it is now your enhance, Deku player, Linosec?
I have no enhances.
Okay. So your enhance again
So
then, Bakugo?
I will not use a Bakugo Enhance, because if I don't use it, I'm guaranteed to be able to play another attack, which ultimately leads to more damage than if I would use it.
So when he says guaranteed, he means he has 3 things to commit. So, because he can't check less than a 3, he is guaranteed to be able to pass 6 difficulty. So a 4 difficulty attack, like this one, is, yeah, he can make it succeed. No
Okay, I'm
questions
starting
asked.
to think I might actually survive now.
Well, we shall see. So you're not
Emphasis
using the
on
Bakugo
might.
enhance. The only other enhance you have is Arrogant Dispositions one, which just reduces the speed of a punch. So because this punch attack gets -3 speed is part of the effect, and the cost is just enhance commit,
Wait, no.
he can actually use this effect during this attack, but it will do nothing. The only thing it will do is commit his foundation, and then the effect will trigger, look at his attack, go, this isn't a punch, and then just do nothing.
Which is not what I want, to be honest.
So he can use that, but it's not in his best interests. There is no reason for him to do so. So I assume you pass.
I will pass.
And now because both he and Deku have passed in a row, this attack gets sent. That's 4 damage.
So that dealt a total of 8 damage.
Essentially, I mean, it actually only dealt 4 damage and caused you to lose 4 vitality, but...
And there's a difference. The difference is important on some cards.
Yeah, the difference can be important sometimes, but generally it's not that big of a deal. 8 vitality was lost either way.
Which is a lot.
So, do you wish to play another card, Muse?
I do. I wish to play another Explosive Brace on a 6.
Oh.
Gets a 5? So only one thing must be committed? I know which I would
Aggressive
choose.
Temper.
Good choice.
No.
So Aggressive Temper, again, just has a when it goes to your discard pile response. It
So there's
doesn't
no
do
point
anything.
leaving it
Yeah.
There's no point leaving it uncommitted.
So it's essentially blank when it's here in the staging area, as it's called. It's only when it goes to the discard pile that it matters, at which point it becomes uncommitted anyway. So, yeah, there's no downside to committing that foundation other than that the foundation has been committed, he can't use it to pass another thing. Anyway, you've made that succeed. Do you wish to use any enhancers?
I do. I will actually use the Bakugo Enhance.
Okay.
I did destroy Aggressive Temper.
So
to
we're
give it
triggering that
+2
discard
damage.
pile response that we were talking about.
So,
After the attack
so
enters
it's
your
all
discard pile
with
during
+1.
your attack enhanced step, your attack gets +2 damage. So there we go, and plus the +2 for the ability that was destroying it is a total of 4. So it's currently at 8 damage, and I'm trying really hard not to zoom in an awkward manner, but... So hopefully I'm not making all you people at home motion sick. Are there any other enhancers you would like to do? Well, wait, sorry, no, Deku any enhances first.
I do not.
Why does Deku enhance first?
Because you just done
I
enhance.
enhanced, yeah. True, yeah.
We pass back and forth. One player gets enhanced, then the other player, then the first player again. We keep doing that till both players pass in a row. So I've not even been mentioning the speed and zones of these, because it's barely mattered. The only thing that mattered was that these aren't mid, but they're both a 3-speed high attack.
Which was unfortunate for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, of course, the only reason the zone matters is because it doesn't trigger that effect that he selected mid for, because he can't block them anyway because he has no cards in hand. So he doesn't have any high zone blocks, he doesn't have any mid zone blocks, he doesn't have any low zone blocks, and the difficulty to block is irrelevant if he can't block.
Yeah, so I will not do an enhance, which means we go to blocking.
And I cannot block, so I will take 8 damage.
Okay, so this puts Deku at a full, measly 2 health.
Now, is there another attack, and if so, will it succeed?
Now I have 2 options here. I can do the risky thing or the safe thing. But
the risky thing wins you the game.
Exactly. And I'm playing Bakugo after all, so I will take the risky thing.
So at this point, depending on what's left in the deck, you essentially have a 50-50 chance of being able to succeed this.
7.
I think it's slightly worse than that.
So you've got a set. You need a 7.
Yes. Yeah. So I need to check.
So you need a 5 or better. You need 5.
Yeah. It's possible, but it's
5 or better to be able to
a bit under 50-50 given what's in this card.
And let's see what we got.
Right. Let's take a look. See.
And that is an attack, 3. Cool. So, because he checked a 3, he cannot make this succeed. It is immediately discarded from the card pool. And because that was played as an action during his turn, a form as it's known, then that ends his turn. Or at least his combat phase.
So we
go straight to the end phase, and you start clearing up. This one dealt damage. Yeah, they all dealt damage. So you can add them all to your momentum if you want.
Which is exactly where I want them.
You can choose not to add them to your momentum, and then they will get discarded. But usually adding them to your momentum is a good thing. It's usually more advantageous to have them in your momentum than to discard them.
Yeah. I only need one of them, to be honest, but...
Yes, but you might as well be greedy, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So... we move over to my turn.
Yep. And your opponent's only on 14 health, so with your ability, any one attack dealing damage will be game.
Now, the disadvantage I have is that I don't have many ready foundations because I blew them all up.
Yep.
Ooh. That's fun.
Okay, I'm seeing that attack. That attack is huge because of that enhance ability.
That's my copy.
Midoriya Strike, needing a 4.
Oh, nice setup.
Yeah, first E, commit a foundation.
So got a 3, made it succeed with the foundation. Yeah. So the E or Midoriya strikes his opponent commits a foundation for each punch attack in the card pool. There is only 1, but 1 is all he needs because the Muse only has 1 foundation.
And it's really good because that one has an enhance to reduce my attack speed.
Yep. So he shut down a really good defensive ability and made it harder for Bakugo to block at all.
Okay then, any enhances on your side?
Not really, no.
So again, Bakugo could play cost on his enhance, but if he did, it would just destroy his foundation and then the ability would do nothing because this isn't his attack.
Yeah. I think it would probably be more synergetic if Arrogant Disposition triggered on destruction instead?
Maybe it's just flavor-wise.
Possibly, but I feel like they didn't want to make you blow up all your foundations all the time.
Yeah, that would be it. Yeah. So I will also skip Enhance, and then the attack will go through.
Okay.
4 speed high for 4.
Alright, given that I suspect there will be a bigger attack coming, and I want to be able to block it, given that I don't have any ready foundations, I will choose not to block this attack and take the 4 damage.
Okay, let me have a look at that real quick. That's a 4 speed high. Okay.
5% Detroit Smash, needing a 6.
So sometimes it is optimal to choose not to block like this. And in fact, it's very optimal.
It's really bad.
So he needed a 6 for this, because he's got that one before it. And he got a 3, so he has to commit 3 things. So he doesn't get to keep his character ready, so he can't use his character ability on this attack.
Oh no, that's so bad.
I must say, it's not good.
So if you want to keep your character ready to defend, you can choose to just let this fail and end your turn.
That's bad. That's really bad.
I don't know whether you want to choose to let this fail and end your turn, but you can.
I have to. I have to let that fail.
Okay.
That is heartbreaking. I'll send this one to Momentum.
Okay. So we now have 2 momentum on this side, and 3 momentum on this side. I don't know how well you can see the numbers on the stream, but when I hover over them, I can see them.
That is tragic.
Well, then you can always zoom in on them to make them bigger.
I suppose, but that's
besides a 3.
really awkward on my laptop setup, I'm afraid. And if I did it on the desktop, then you wouldn't be able to see me through the webcam. So I figured people would prefer to see me on stream than have the slightly more convenient setup for me. Anyway.
No,
passing to your turn, Deku player, Bakugo player Muse.
I will review Prideful Personality because I want more damaging stuff.
Review, to be clear, is just this specific discard at the start of your turn.
Yes.
Some cards will reference. Sorry, what was that line I said?
I'm just still dealing with that 3.
I mean, I could check that.
That was a harsh 3.
Yeah.
So, draw 5 cards. Cutest Link, Muse, Bakugo, whichever name you want to go by.
I do have a lot of names, don't I?
You do at this point.
A man has 3 faces.
Alright, let's do the ultimate overkill explosion murder thing.
Okay, here we go.
Very Bakugo.
Double Barrage Ultra!
Oh no.
It's Bakugo's ultimate attack.
Although it's probably pronounced Ultra.
Ultra.
Double Barrage Ultra!
I'll check for it.
Hits a 3.
Lucky.
So you're going to have to commit both your cards, yep.
That is so good. That is very good for me. That is actually very good for me.
Why is it good for you?
Because it means that this is the only attack he's going to be dealing with, probably. Because you're going to struggle to play another one without anything to commit.
Yeah, I forgot Linus Sec now has cards to block with.
Yeah, I know. It's a weird feeling,
but at the same time, this is going to be a massive attack, and its speed's not bad at 4.
Okay.
Yes. So I'll use the top enhance on Double Rush Ultra.
Okay. So you will discard
I
one
discard the momentum. Yeah. I get +1 damage for each Fury attack in my discard pile.
Right, so we're going to look at your discard pile real quick and see. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 attacks, and every single attack in Bakugo's deck is Fury.
Oh my.
As you can see.
That is, as they say, a lot of damage. And also completely unnecessary.
That's Bakugo.
Yep.
Well,
so that's 13 damage when you only needed 2.
So in response, I'll make it so if the next attack is a mid, it will get minus 10 damage.
Okay.
All right.
You like your mids?
Okay. Yep. So, any enhances?
Well, sorry, any enhances from you now, Bakugo? You can use
no,
that bottom enhance on the attack, it just won't do anything.
It won't do anything, yeah.
Because you don't meet the condition that it checks for.
Yeah. Yep.
Any answers from you, Linusec?
No enhance.
Then it gets sent.
Okay, so I will attempt to block with note taking. That will require a total of 6.
Yep, so 2 plus 4 plus 0 cards before it is 6.
And it checks 2 and it accidentally checks 2 for some reason.
Okay.
Let's just remove
take the top one and shuffle it into your deck. It'll be fine.
Yeah. So it got a 5. So I will need to.
Well, this is a more serious game. There will be nasty penalties for that. But
yeah. But then again, I wouldn't have to deal with match clicks for that.
Yeah, so you'll have to commit 1 for this.
I will commit my character for that.
Good choice, because your character has only 1 ability remaining to be used, and that would be discarding your entire hand.
Yeah,
now,
to do literally nothing.
There is a tactical advantage to discarding your hand in this situation. If you were to discard your hand, passing the torch would draw you 2 cards rather than 1. But the other thing is if you keep 2 passing the torch ready, they will draw you 2 cards rather than 1. So it's the same thing, really.
So that attack is successfully blocked.
Yeah, that attack is successfully blocked.
I will respond to that. I will respond to it.
You cannot.
No, you cannot use your character response because your character is committed.
So that attack has been blocked.
So if you can use the character response, this card would leave the card pool and wouldn't count as a card before whatever card he plays next. So his next card would essentially be 1 less difficult than it otherwise would. But because he can't get rid of it, he's going to struggle a bit.
And we're going into
in light
Foundations.
of that, he's playing Foundations instead. So this one needs a 3 because it's 2 plus 1 thing before it.
That is a very big relief.
And
another 3.
Yep. Okay. Please ignore this. This is an advanced mechanic that does not get used in these demo decks that we're playing with. It's only for full 60-card decks. Anyway, Arian Disposition succeeded. Would you like to play anything else, Muse?
Let me have a quick zone thing.
Oh, that's interesting. I see why you didn't play that.
Why didn't play what?
So, Deku declared mid.
Oh, yeah.
And Bakugo's only attack was mid, so it was going to be...
I mean, if
it
Lusa
wasn't
didn't
going
say
to
you
do
could...
any damage.
If I could kill with Lusa, I would have still done it.
Well, you could.
Oh, no, wait,
yes, but Lusa specifically says that you can't kill with it.
Can't reduce. Yeah,
exactly.
And that you cannot reduce your opponent's vitality below 1.
I'll risk another Arrogant Disposition on the 4.
Okay.
And that
doesn't work.
Tragic.
Rip.
Okay.
So these 2 foundations go down to replenish Bakugo's supply, and this attack did not deal damage, so it will go to the discard pile.
Oh, that was.
And now Deku gets
really...
another shot at a backswing.
Yeah. So
ready everything? First of all,
and get rid of your foundation.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, get rid of that foundation from your card pool. That should really have happened at the end of the last turn, but it doesn't matter.
I will review Bonds of Friendship.
Okay.
And we'll draw 4.
Okay.
Okay, that's pretty good. I will play Delaware Smash, needing a 4.
Ooh, nice.
So this is 3.
Commit
I'll
1.
commit Bonds of Friendship, and to make it succeed.
So this is the same one we had before with Flash. Flash says you skip the enhance step, so neither player gets to play enhance abilities during this attack. So unless anybody has any responses to it being played or anything, which I'm pretty sure they don't, this just gets straight sent. So it's a 4 mid for 6 damage, Can you do anything about that, Bakugo player?
I could, but I won't.
Okay.
Okay, so you will take 6. Okay.
So you're down to 4. This is getting a lot more even.
Okay.
It's very even. 2 and 4, even numbers after all.
In retrospect,
Very good, Mr. Mathematician.
In retrospect, I probably should have done what I'm about. Actually, probably wouldn't have made much of a difference because of arrogant disposition, but another 5% Detroit Smash, needing a 6. I swear if I get another 3, I am going to punch something. Thank God.
Again, ignore that. That is an advanced mechanic that we're not using right now.
And that was a 6, so it succeeds. Okay.
I'll have to take your word for that, I'm afraid.
It did.
But
it was
stream will
rigorous
see it
training.
anyway.
It was rigorous training.
Okay.
Now.
So this time we have to see the ability in action.
I may as well... Actually, yeah, I will first discard my hand to give it plus 10 damage.
Okay. Just drag the whole thing.
Yeah, it's being a bit funny. There we go.
Okay. So plus 10 damage on this.
I will respond with prideful personality.
Hopefully you didn't see my
Enhance.
Discord notification just now. I don't know whether you did or not stream, but...
I didn't see it, so...
No, I know you won't see it. Actually, if you can't see it, then stream can't see it, because you're seeing Tabletop Simulator.
Excellent.
Excellent.
Right. I'll flip prideful personality in order to discard 2 and draw 2. This is because right now, with a free mid block, I wouldn't possibly be able to block. Not that it won't matter much very soon, I know. But I'll do it anyway, just to illustrate.
Okay.
Yeah.
So flipping a foundation... Well, first of all, we're going to have a look at that foundation. So the enhances, enhance flip, discard 2 cards is the effect. There's the cost, sorry. And the effect is draw 2 cards. So the flip is to turn it face down, and now it's just a blank foundation.
Now, loser cannot trigger because it says your attack.
Yeah,
so
it
only
specifies the enhanced step of your attack. Your attack's
draw.
So that response can't be activated.
Yeah.
That actually drew me a better block.
Albeit
okay,
slightly.
So, yeah. Now, onto my enhance, I will use 5% Detroit Smash, discard 1 momentum, and it will gain plus 5 speed.
Only playable if its attack's damage is 10 or greater. So unlike other things which say, if such and such, then such and such, this ability actually isn't playable unless it meets the conditions.
Which it
does because of all this bonus damage. It's specifically made to play well with Deku's special ability.
Yeah, this is pretty much his finisher attack.
Yes.
Yeah.
Both players have a finisher attack that requires 1 momentum to use.
Yeah, which is basically game because I can't block a 9 speed.
I think you'll find it's a 10 speed.
10 speed, 15
so
damage.
So yes, it's a 10 speed mid. It could be blocked at a +2 with this one. Just throw that down there to show. But that would be a total of 12 needed, which would mean at least 6 things would need to be committed to make it succeed. So that's just not happening. And this loser could partially block it, but I mean, even the difficulty of the partial block would be
still
the same.
Enough.
And we'll talk about what partial blocking does in a future game, I guess. Because that's it for this.
We didn't really do that, did we?
Yeah. And the enhance is passed, the attack goes through, it can't be blocked, and that is game.
Yeah. So I'm just going to do this for the sake of it.
Just to see just how far down we go.
There we go, minus 11 health. So,
which I believe is less than 0.
Yep. And
I could be wrong.
Deku wins. Congratulations.
Yay, I punched something.
You did it, Linus.
I did punch.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go to the toilet real quick. So feel free to chat amongst yourselves, and then we'll start a game of the Digimon, the new Digimon card game in just a moment.
Yeah.